Hello, I'm Luca and this is the Web3 in Travel podcast, where you can learn about crypto, blockchain, and how the new internet will change travel. When a project starts working on Web3, and so dealing with cryptocurrencies, one of the first problems is who's going to take care of the money. And this is actually a big problem if you don't have the expertise or the setup to take care of it. Because normally you would say, okay, let's open a wallet, right? And opening a wallet is basically like opening a bank account. So who's going to take care of that bank account? And it is a dangerous bank account in the sense that, the person who has control of it could simply send the money away, or maybe even say it's been hacked. So you can see how this can become quickly a problem. All right, let's say that the CEO keeps the money, and then the CEO doing that becomes basically the treasurer. And if this is just, a little bit of money, it's fine, like basically a cash account where you have the money and you use it as needed. But if it becomes something a bit bigger, like a real treasury, then the CEO is not the right person to do it. This is an operative executive task, which takes time, takes a lot of attention. You need to be always ready to move the money. So you have to imagine the CEO traveling with a hardware wallet with all the money inside. Of course, but when I say money, I mean crypto. And, things could happen. They could ask you at the border, what is it? Because maybe you are moving more than $10,000 in this wallet, even if you're not technically moving them, they are on the blockchain. But they could, after a while, they're going to learn what these things are. And the border guards would say, all right, you have a treasure. How much do you have into this? The treasury is one of the hardware wallets, or the other one is the ledger. How much do you have? Well, I don't know, $50,000 in tokens. Well, you can't bring it because there's a $10,000 or euro limit on cash transfers. And you say, it's not cash, it's NFTs or whatever, or tokens. It's not scalable, and it's not a long-term view. Plus, he could lose it. Yes, he has a backup. People could steal it. And the Treasury wallet, for instance, if somebody steals it from you and they have the knowledge of how to do, they can actually extract the private key in a few minutes. So you would need probably a ledger there. That's not the best solution. Another solution which I've seen happening in companies, and this is, is keeping me basically awake at night, is to ask some junior who's been playing with cryptocurrencies for a while and say, you take care of it. And that's also dangerous for the same reasons I've said before. Plus, this is a person who's not probably been trained in managing treasuries. Again, one of the worst things is that if the hardware wallet gets hacked, and by hacked I mean, maybe somebody gets the private key backup, and the money goes away, there is no way for the person who had the wallet to prove that he didn't steal it. Same way they could steal it, and there's no way for the company to prove that he didn't steal it. So you are giving all your treasury to a person, and, well, that's really dangerous. So how do Web3 crypto companies take care of this problem? Well, they use multi-sig wallets. And today I'm going to talk about the biggest one out there, which is the Gnosis Safe. Gnosis is Gnosis. It's one of the original crypto projects. It's been around for a long time. They even have their own blockchain today. It's a side chain to Ethereum. It's called Gnosis Chain, previously XDAI. And this is a very elegant way to manage money. It's been holding a lot of money for a long time. So I would say it's pretty safe in crypto standards. So unless they don't have to prove anything anymore. So unless somebody proves this is, it can be hacked, we can consider them, at least I consider them, as pretty safe. So what is the Gnosis Safe, which actually recently has been rebranded as simply Safe? What is the Safe? The Safe is a multi-sig wallet, in a way, is a smart contract, which basically means that you can manage a certain amount or any amount of cryptocurrencies with other people. So the most classic example will be 5 people have the keys, their own private keys, and these 5 people are owners of the safe. So you have 5 different people who have privileges to initiate transactions. But one person is not enough. So let's say that you have the mythical $1 million in USDC in this safe. Any of these persons can say, okay, let's make a transaction of 100,000 USDC from the safe to that address. And they start the transaction, and then nothing basically happens because it needs, let's say, 3 people, 3 signatures out of 5. This is a 3 out of 5 safe. So you need at least 2 more people to sign it. It's very flexible. You could say we need all the signatures to move the money. That's risky because if one person loses the wallet, the money is basically stuck forever. Or you could say 2 are enough. And 2 is not safe because 2 people colluding is easier than 3 people colluding. So in TRIPS, for instance, we have a 6 out of 9. And not everybody knows each other. They're all public figures, but they don't know personally each other. So the chances of collusion are pretty low. And by collusion, I mean 6 people agreeing to perform a fraudulent transaction. I mentioned already, I'm not one of these signers, which makes the TRIPS community safe pretty decentralized. Still, I'm the person who can say, let's move some money there or here. But if I say, let's move it, and I don't justify it, they have the right not to perform this transaction. So how to create a Gnosis Safe? This is pretty easy. You just go on the Gnosis Safe website and you follow the instructions. You basically create a safe by doing a transaction. And then you add the owners. So you say 5 different people, and then you define how many people have to sign to make the transaction being executed. But before going ahead, let's see the companies and projects which use this safe. Consensus, which is basically the Ethereum Foundation. Synthetics. ENS, the domain name, the decentralized domain names on Ethereum. Balancer, Aave, SushiSwap, Yarn, 1inch, and many more. So the biggest players in crypto are using this safe. And that should make you feel safe enough for your own, at least to start that. I'm sure in the future we'll see innovation on this side. This is basically a monopoly today, meaning most companies use this safe and the most money is protected by these smart contracts. Now, an alternative to a safe managed in this way is to simply pay some company to take care of your assets. And that will be a custodial service, a bit like a bank, and they exist. They tend to cost a lot of money. At least in my experience, what happens is that, okay, they will cost you maybe 0.4% of the total locked value, which makes $4,000 a year on a $1 million treasury. And if the treasury is $10 million, then it's $40,000 and so on. And also they are limited in the number and kind of tokens they can take care of usually, because for every blockchain, they have a specific kind of procedure. They're very slow and they're very careful in adding new kind of tokens. So if you use these people, normally you would use them for the money you never want to touch and for the most important assets. They can take care of your ETH, they can take care of your Bitcoin, USDC, USDT. But then if you have some weird token of your own token, even often they don't want to take care of it. That's according to my limited experience. Also, it's not that easy to have somebody take care of your cash flow. Basically, you have cryptocurrencies you need to be able to move quickly, maybe every day or every week. Maybe you have them on some automatic system or protocol. Okay, I'm sure things changed very fast, and I know maybe 10% or 1% of this world. Maybe there are great solutions for you out there, and you have to do the work, look for them. But mostly they are not the most flexible. So I would say the illiquid money can be kept in this way, but the liquid, you have to find a way to take care of them. And that's going to be a big problem for most companies because they don't have the people. Often you can do that, and they need to be very trusted people, etc., etc. So still, the safe is the best solution out there. It's not that hard if you have in your project or company 3, 4, 5 people who can and play with cryptocurrencies daily, because you can't, okay, that's something you shouldn't do. Go like, okay, we need a safe, get a wallet, get a treasure, get a ledger, learn, and a week from now, we're going to have all our money in this safe. This is a perfect, setup for losing all your treasury. You need people who do this daily or are very used to do that, because these things are not too hard to learn, but they're very, very easy to forget at the same time. So, and many, let's say, non-Web3 companies do not have this kind of knowledge inside them, but they will have, because as a company has people inside, and people are learning things every day, and every day there's more people who know how to use wallets. So if you are not a company, but you're working in a company, learning to use a safe today, in my opinion, is a very good thing to do. It doesn't take much time if you're in crypto already. And then when that day comes, you can raise your hand and say, well, I can take care of it. I can teach you how to do that. I can be a signer if you want. And they're going to need this. Most companies are going to need this. And so the ratio between the time it takes to learn this and the potential return on the invested time is really, really high. So you can easily go to Gnosis Safe, choose like a test net, and start playing and pretending to have a safe, like with fake money. Having said that, you can also manage your own wallet with a safe. How? Well, suppose that you have money in MetaMask in different accounts, and you have an account with a lot of money, and it's in MetaMask, and you don't want it on a hardware wallet because you don't want to take it out every time you do a transaction. You could have your own safe with 3 signatures, and the 3 signatures are all yours from different wallets. So maybe 3 different browsers. One wallet in Chrome, one in Brave, one in Firefox. That makes it very hard for a hacker who hacks into your Chrome to steal your money, because they would just be able to do start a transaction, which then you will not accept, you would reject it. So I haven't done this yet personally, but I'm tempted to do it. I think I will test it out, and I will try it, at least for my online money, which is not behind a hardware wallet. Another way it can use is with kind of social recovery, in which your money is managed in this safe, and you ask some friends to be signers too. Then you have to make sure that they're very, very trusted, but that makes it also impossible for you to be hacked. And at the same time, if you lose your private keys, maybe your friends can move it. So let's say it's 3 people, you and 2 friends, and you lose your private keys. The 2 of them, and this example is about a 2 out of 3 safe. These 2 friends can actually still move your money. Yes, they could also steal your money, but again, you have to choose the real friends here, people you can actually trust. You see, it's very flexible, and you have to find the best way to use it. But the message I really think is important here is that learn this thing, because it is going to be needed by every single company out there in the next years. And I want to add something very important, because I have used this safe for years. But just recently I realized how powerful it is going to be, and it already is in a way, not as a safe, but basically as the operating system of Web3. Let me explain you what I mean by this. If you go in this safe, there's a section called apps. Or maybe let me tell you this going through my research. I needed a protocol for sending coins to many addresses, a multi-send protocol. And basically, I have to send coins to 100 addresses, and I want some way to do it in one go without doing manually 100 times. And going into the Wild West of Web3, I found 2 kinds of them, 2 kinds of this app. One was a scam, and this was the CoinTool app, which you find at cointool.app, which, yes, allowed you to do that, and it wouldn't actually do anything harmful other than steal a bit of your money. So basically, there was a hidden fee. There is a hidden fee. If you are sending, let's say, one DAI to 100 addresses, it tells you it costs you 100. Sorry, it should cost you 100 plus a bit of gas, and it actually costs you maybe 110 or 120. And there's nowhere where they say that. So you will do it and lose that money, and then maybe realize they took more. And this is clear in the smart contract, because you just go there and you see what other people do. Where do you go? You go in the blockchain explorer. Let's say it's on Polygon, you go on Polygon scan. And that's a good habit, before interacting with apps, go and look what they do on the blockchain exactly. So you go on Polygon scan, you see the last person who did this kind of multi-sending, and then you see how the money moved. And I found out that they're actually paying themselves something like $10 or $20, which was completely not declared anywhere else. Plus, this app is a scam, even if you create tokens, like every time a transaction happens in these tokens, they get paid. So stay away from that one. But it just show you that if you go, if you Google stuff for Web3, it's easy to get into the scams, and they're very sophisticated scams. It's not obvious, right? Then I found other like services, and these are basically protocols. They're there. You just use them. You can see actually they've been used for a few years, but they were expensive. They were costing, one of them was costing $20 for every 100 addresses. One was costing $200 for a day. The other one was a lifetime member for $400. It is expensive for the protocol, because once a protocol exists, you could actually simply leave it online for people to use for free, like Uniswap. As it's done, it's done. But of course, if you develop it, you want to make some money, you're going to charge. This is perfectly fine. But I was a bit thinking, this is not possible that no one has done anything free until, and then not only free, because you have to look, is it safe to interact with? And this is not easy if you're not a little bit technical, at least. So what I did, I basically chose the one where you pay $400 for lifetime, and I said, okay, we're going to use this one. Before doing that, I wanted to test it. But then I decided that I would do this through a safe. So I built a safe. I started doing this thing, and then I realized that in the app section, there's an app called CSV Airdrop, which does the same thing completely for free. Not only because it is there amongst the apps suggested by the safe, I knew that there was a safe app. Like, I didn't have to worry about that. So I found something free and secure. And then I looked at the other applications they have there, and it's slowly becoming like a whole environment, a whole operating system where you interact with Web3, going to the safe first, and then using the apps that they have. Like, there's Uniswap amongst these apps. It's not like different apps. It's only that first, because they are there, you know that they've been vetted, so they are pretty sure. If nothing is sure in crypto, something could happen in any of these apps, but it's another layer of security. And then you could add your own apps if they are not vetted. There's an app you trust, you want to use it through the safe, you can add it. So it's like its own operating system. It's becoming its own operating system. Also, it's already multi-chain. There's Ethereum, there's Polygon, Gnosis, Avalanche, Binance, Arbitrum, Optimism, and a few others. And careful here, because that's an easy mistake to do. If you have a certain address on Ethereum, this is the safe address. So I didn't explain that. When you create a safe, the safe has an address, a wallet, 0x whatever, where you can send money. So it becomes like its own wallet, right? Now, if you if you use the same owners to create a safe on Polygon, you will not get the same address. And that's really dangerous, because we are used to say, that's my address, send me some money. And it doesn't matter if it's Polygon, Ethereum, or Arbitrum, or anything else, not on the safe. Each safe on a different chain has a different address. And there's people losing a lot of money over this. Is it a bug? No, it's just how it's made. Maybe if there was a way to make it better, they could have done it. You can today have the same contract on different chains, but maybe that wasn't available when these contracts were first built years ago. I don't know. So very careful when you send money to a safe, or in general, I would say, send a little bit before, make sure it's the right chain, and don't send millions of dollars to a dead address. Because if you sending, so I give an address, right, which ends in 456, and on Ethereum, and then you send it on Polygon, that same address may be empty, nobody has it, so the money is actually dead, nobody will ever have it, or it goes to somebody else. One way to check this is to go on the blockchain explorer and see if this is actually a safe. You will see this address is a smart contract and not simply a wallet. But anyway, be careful about that. Let's see a few more characteristics here. Well, it's multi-sig, as I said. Any other wallet, even hardware wallet, is not. Centralized exchanges are not. It's got DeFi integrations, as I was saying. You don't need to share any personal data. You simply connect your wallet as a signer. You can manage NFTs. NFTs are just tokens, so why not, right? Signatures are gasless. This is a recent development, I think. So if you sign it, you're one of the 5 people who sign. Only the last one who makes the executes the transaction pays the gas. And I remember at the beginning, everybody had to pay the gas. So we had 9 people, and somebody will say, okay, I'm going to wait other people, and 6 people are needed to move the money. So somebody could say, well, I'm going to wait others to do it, so I don't spend $20 in ETH. And then it's open source. This is a bank of which you're actually seeing how it's made and how the code works. It's another layer of security you don't get in other systems. So it is really a great piece of software. Recently, I also tried their app, so you can put it on your phone. I only use it as a read only, so I get alerts when, for instance, money comes in, or when there's something to sign, which you don't get on the browser. On the browser, you wouldn't know. People have to alert you. Now, another thing, if you ever decide to create a safe multi-sig with people in your project or company, you need to have a clear procedure, because otherwise somebody could pretend to be the boss and say, send $100,000 there, and everybody signs. So I won't tell you exactly the procedure we have at Trips, because it's a security issue, but people know that they have to follow. Some things have to happen before they can actually sign. Nobody has to sign just because other people sign, right? So that's also important. Their website updated this number in February 2022, so a few months back. They are holding, or they say securing, storing about $100 billion in cryptocurrencies. Now, of course, this number changes. It goes up and down with the price of these cryptocurrencies. But it's $100 billion. It's not $1 million. And when you have a smart contract or a set of smart contracts with $100 billion, which have not been hacked for years, you can say that it is pretty secure. Because, as I said many times, when you want to interact with a protocol, you want to know that it's been out for a long time and a lot of money is being gone through it. Because if you see it from the point of view of the North Korean hacker, if there's a lot of money, they're going to make a lot of effort. Take it. If there's no money, probably you won't even know about it, right? So imagine a hacker hacking this and getting away with $100 billion. This is money any country would love to have. So even the highest hackers, the best hackers groups out there can't hack it. You could say it will be hacked with the next release because maybe they introduce some bug. But again, as it is today, this is one of the safest protocols out there in crypto. So here's your call to action. Go to gnosis-safe.io, select a testnet, get some testnet ETH, and create your own safe and work on it. Learn about it, and I tell you, this is going to be one of the best things you can do for your career or for your company. This is something like there's a piece of infrastructure which is really needed. It's like your bank account. Let me reiterate this point. If you have a normal startup, a normal company, you have bank accounts. And if you are in crypto, you have a safe. You can't work with wallets. So 99%, or let's say in the next 5 years, maybe 50% of companies who are going to try even, little bit to try to get into Web3, they're going to hit this wall and say, okay, great. Let's get $50,000 in crypto. Where are we going to keep it? And they're going to end up keeping it probably in the exchange, which is probably the safest thing to do if you don't have an alternative like the safe, right? But if you have it on Binance or Coinbase, but then you can't use it. You still need to send it to a wallet, and that wallet can interact with the Web3 world. And who's going to take care of that wallet? Again, we are at the same point. You remember that Coinbase is working on something like this, where you have a wallet which they can help you secure. That could be kind of an alternative, but it's not out there yet. It's not something companies can use. So yeah, the safe is like one basic part of the Web3 infrastructure. It's really worth learning about it. There you go. That was a quick episode. I'm going to the airport for the Web3 in Travel conference we're going to have in a couple of days in Porto, Portugal. And see you next week. All right. This is the end of today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. For more insights on Web3, follow me on Twitter at tripluca, TRIPLUCA, and see you next time.